Hello there guys, welcome to another my live video. So as you all are aware that the vast majority of Manchester United fans are demanding Ole Gunnar Solsjaker to be sacked, and the vast majority of them are demanding for Mauricio Pochettino to be recommended in. I've just been reading the Daily Express, and it did say now we may sack Solskjaer and recommend Mauricio Pochettino win after the 7th of December. So I think probably Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got to win at least 2 of his next 3 games with Man United if his managerial tenure is to be saved at the football club. Solskjaer, of course, has got a 3-year contract with Manchester United. He had been given this 3-year contract when he had been given the job permanently back in March, which was obviously now earlier on this year. I can definitely assure that Solskjaer now will not see out his 3-year contract, so I am very sceptical about it. But actually, now Solskjaer now could be gone by January. He could be gone by January, but if Man United do decide to sack Solskjaer, obviously now it will cost the club a substantial amount, so we'll have to pay quite a bit in compensation. Solskjaer's salary is around 7.5 million a year, I think it is. We would have to pay as much, as we did do to get rid of Jose Mourinho and that. But I thought, analysing the game against Sheffield United, yesterday, it was very, very poor. I think we was very, very poor for 80 minutes. Like I did say, we had a good 10-minute spell. We scored 3 times within 7 minutes. But for 80 minutes, we was on the back foot. But we'll be pleased, that we didn't lose that game because, we was actually 2-0 down. We was actually closer to our first win of this season from obviously a losing position. But it was a shame, that we did concede in stoppage time. And obviously our away record does need to improve anywhere. But like I said, Sheffield United did really, really well. They did create a lot of chances in the game. They showed a great attacking intent and that. Solskjaer went with a rarity formation. He did go with the 3-4-3. He doesn't really go with that formation very, very often. But in the league now, we are sitting 9th. We've won 4, we've drawn 5, and we've lost 4. So in that aspect, we've only registered 17 points from a possible 39, and we know that's nowhere near good enough to our standard. We're sitting 9 points behind top 4. So I'm very, very sceptical, that we're going to get that top 4 this season, because we need to get into that top 4 so we can get Champions League football. Because obviously when you're in Champions League football, obviously, you do attract players to the elite level. Well, you've got more chance of attracting players to the elite level. And I do believe that our only route to Champions League football is, progressing in the Europa League, because obviously we're already in knockout stages anywhere of the Europa League, but I don't think we'll get top 4 this season. I did confirm at the start of this season, though, that, our aspirations will be that top 4 in the next couple of seasons. I did say our expectations will be the top 4 this season, so it can create a platform and it can obviously, give us something to build on. But, we're not going to win the league for at least the next 3, maybe even 4 years, maybe even longer than that. And I did say at the start of this season, despite the 3 signings that we recommended in during the summer, I didn't expect us, to mount any kind of title challenge up or win the league. For us, to be back to being a competitive elite level football club, and for us to be future title contenders, our recruitment's got to improve, and we've got to recruit the right calibre players over the course of the next couple of windows. So I do believe, we're orchestrating on spending another substantial amount on recruiting new players. An estimated guess, I think we're going to spend from 200 to 250 million on recruiting new players. Recent reports did say that Solskjaer is going to be giving around 100 million pounds to spend in January. But analysing it, we have got some good players in our team, because a lot of money in that has been invested into the football club over the years in all the managerial areas. But Solskjaer is inheriting a good squad. Because obviously analysing the vast majority of this team, it isn't Solskjaer's. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. Take that into account, because Jose Mourinho did recommend 11 players into the football club. Now Solskjaer is still inheriting the vast majority of them. But it is going to be a long rebuilding process, and I think we need at least 5 to 6 more signings, maybe even more, if we are to be back to where we want to be. It's very imperative next year that we do address all the deficiencies in the squad, because these still priority areas where Man United need to strengthen up. We do need 2 midfielders. We need an attacking midfielder. We also need a defensive midfielder. We also need a striker. Probably we need 2 attackers, but we definitely need to recruit a replacement for Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez, because we have looked very exposed in that attacking line. Following their departures. I know Rashford and that's rejuvenated himself recently. Martial's done very, very good since he's come back. He's added more inspiration in that attacking third of the pitch. And Mason Greenwood's obviously been on form this season in the games he's played in. Greenwood now he's scored his first Premier League goal for the club yesterday. He's scored 4 senior goals this season as Mason Greenwood, and he has done really, really well. Rashford getting a goal and assist yesterday. Rashford has now scored 55 goals for the football club, since he broke into the senior squad back in 2016 and that. But, we still need to get at least 1 striker in, because, we need someone who can come in that can be more effective in the box, someone who can create chances, definitely. I think we also need a right winger, because analysing, during the summer, we was in search for a right winger, and possibly, there's other areas in the squad that do need to be addressed. But, reportedly Solskjaer's going to get a spending spree of 200 million over the course of the next couple of windows, and there is question marks regarding that, though. Is 200 million pounds enough for us, to address all the deficiencies in the squad? Is it enough for us, to recommend the right number of players in? We will see what happens, but I don't. Solskjaer, may not be here by January. You never know. But, as you all know, recently Ed Woodward assured anywhere that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. And Ed Woodward replicates Solskjaer in that aspect because they've got the same perceptions. Solskjaer obviously still insists he's the right manager to elevate Manchester United forward. And obviously, Solskjaer feared the worst when we was 2-0 down yesterday to Sheffield United. He really did fear the worst. I didn't think he expected us to come back, but he was pleased, with the comeback we came. The comeback, we did. Obviously, that gives us a glimpse of the Alex Ferguson era, because we did see a lot of comebacks under the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously, he's also come out and said that the young players have learned a valuable lesson. So he did take some positives out of the game, but I think the overall performance was very, very disappointing in that. And there's quite a lot of aspects of our game that still need to improve. We need to create more chances. I still think, we need to score more goals, even though we have been scoring goals recently in that. Definitely. And I think we have done well recently in that, and, we have done really, really well, but, it still doesn't change my perceptions regarding Solskjaer. I still don't think he's the long-term future for Manchester United. Obviously, I think we need to get rid of our current board, because the board have been a liability for several years. Obviously, due to our poor performances and results this season, Solskjaer is accountable for some of it, but you can't, put all of the blame on Solskjaer, because some of the blame stems from the board. Some of the blame does stem from Ed Woodward. I also believe that Ed Woodward, does replicate the board, and I still believe, these problematic players at Manchester United that do need to be moved on next year. So that's my overarching view on that. Definitely. But I think we also, need to see a change of management. So, as you all know anyway, there's a lot of talks going on about Mauricio Pochettino now. Obviously, Solskjaer did recently say this. I think this was in his press conference prior to the Sheffield United game. He actually said that he feels no extra pressure at Manchester United despite the sacking of Mauricio Pochettino. Now, obviously, before we recommended Solskjaer in December of last year, obviously this was after the sacking of Jose Mourinho. Obviously, Mauricio Pochettino was our primary candidate. We was in for him for quite some time. I think a couple of other managers were on our agenda in that. But Pochettino, isn't only linked with Man United. There's obviously been talks about him going to Arsenal. I'm very sceptical about him going to Arsenal, to be quite honest with you, but he could do. I might be wrong about that. Obviously, he's held talks, I think, with Bayern Munich. So Pochettino, is linked to quite a few clubs, but I don't think will be managerless for long. But at the time when he went in for him before I recommended Solskjaer in, obviously he was you know reluctant to leave Tottenham. Like I said, Daniel Levy is a hard negotiator and that. But I think, the couple of reasons, our preference was Solskjaer is because obviously, Solskjaer was a cheaper solution. We didn't really pay that much to Mulder to recommend him in. And plus, he knows the traditions and that of the football club, because Solskjaer, was a great long-serving player for Man United for 11 years, and he did flourish under Alex Ferguson's guidance and that. But it did get confirmed last week anyway. Last Tuesday it was that Pochettino had been sacked by Tottenham. Obviously, because, reflects on their bad start to this season, because they have enjoyed a difficult time this season. Because prior to their game against West Ham, they was currently sitting 14th in the league, where Tottenham and that. But Pochettino, I think, enjoyed a good 5 years with Tottenham. I think, if he came to Man United, if he came to Man United, I think he definitely would do a better job than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Because I think, they are comparison our Pochettino and Solskjaer. Pochettino's got, a hell of a lot more experience than Solskjaer. Because, like I put into the equation, Solskjaer hasn't really got that managerial experience. He's actually won more, though, than, Pochettino's Solskjaer. Because, obviously, before he came to Man United, he won a couple of Norwegian titles with Mould. But Pochettino's more experienced than that. He hasn't won out in terms of silverware. That's only really my element of concern about him. But I think if Pochettino did come in, then I think he'd replicate Man United. What he did do with Tottenham. But like I said, he enjoyed a 5-year tenure with Tottenham. He obviously got them to their first ever Champions League final last season. He also got them to a couple of third place finishes. He also got them runners up in the Premier League in 2017. And he actually also progressed them to the League Cup final in his first full season. But he did really, really well. He's also good at developing young players, like he did do with Tottenham. He also spent quite a lot at Tottenham. I think he spent over £200 million at Tottenham, did Pochettino. But I think he definitely would be the right candidate for Manchester United. Obviously, before I was at Tottenham, he did have a short tenure with Southampton. Thought he did quite well there. And before I was at Southampton, was with Espanyol. He initially began his managerial career in 2009. So Pochettino has been managing for just over a decade and that. When he was at Tottenham, he did sign a 5-year contract, by the way, in the summer of 2018 with around £8.5 million a year. But I thought his philosophy was good at Tottenham, and I think his philosophy at Man United would be good. Definitely. So I think, now Man United need to try and recommend him in. Obviously, before he does go to another team. But there is a lot of talks about him, going on. Like I said, Arsenal are obviously, in our situation now, because obviously, we've got Solskjaer that's under intense pressure, or under pressure, whatever. Unai, of course, is under intense pressure with Arsenal, so obviously, he does replicate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and you've got the vast majority of Arsenal fans as well that are demanding Unai Emery out. Unai Emery is only in his second era, with Arsenal. This is his second season with them. But obviously, a lot of Arsenal fans have got reservations about him. What I've seen of him is tactically naive. His philosophy, isn't right for Arsenal. His team selections are wrong. He's playing players in wrong positions. And Arsenal did draw 2-2 with Southampton at the weekend. That was a very, very bad result for Arsenal. There was actually luckier to get a point in that game, because Southampton, created a lot of chances. They dominated the play. And I think if Southampton, would have had better finishers, then I think, they would have comfortably, won the game. But they did show a lot of resilience, did Southampton. But Arsenal are on a bad run of form. They haven't won in their last 5 league games. So they win this in the last 5 league games. I think that's their worst run since 1998. So that's around 21 years ago now. So Emery obviously, has won silverware before as a manager. He hasn't won out at Arsenal as yet, but obviously, before he was at Arsenal, he won trophies with PSG. I think he also won some silverware with Sevilla and that. But Arsenal did say, if they obviously don't get that top 4 this season and that, obviously they did say, they wanted Unai Emery out. Maybe you'll get the old Arsenal fans saying, they should still give him time. But I think Unai Emery is totally comparison as well to Arsene Wenger. Because Arsene Wenger obviously, endured 22 years with Arsenal. Analysing it, you can say maybe had 12, 13, maybe 14 good years out of the 22 years and he was there. But obviously then in the last 5 or 6 years at least, a lot of Arsenal fans, did want Wenger out. But they actually, did play better under Arsene Wenger's guidance, than what they're playing now under Unai Emery. Arsenal will believe that their recruitment wasn't good enough, obviously during the summer. They did get the likes of Kieran Tierney in for 25 million. I think, they got, was it William Saliba? They got Nicolas Pepe for 70 odd million. They obviously, got David Luiz. He was a cheap solution. They paid around, 7 or 8 million pounds for him. Reflecting back in January, Arsenal were only restricted to loan signings and that. So their recruitment's very, very poor. And, they replicate us in that aspect because, we're sort of on the same level as Arsenal at the moment. But yeah, they need to definitely get rid of Unai Emery and that because he's obviously, he's not good enough for Arsenal. But yeah, also Arsenal have got Pochettino on their agenda. Arsenal have actually got quite a few managers on their agenda. Obviously, there's been talks about Mauricio Pochettino. So I've already said him. Mikel Arteta. There has been talks about him going on recently. He's on Arsenal's agenda. He's obviously a former Arsenal player. He's at the moment he's the coaching assistant of Manchester City. There's still a lot of narratives going on in the mainstream media regarding Massimiliano Allegri. Now, reportedly, Arsenal are interested in recommending him in to replace Unai Emery. Don't forget, around a month or so ago, was it? Massimiliano Allegri was actually our primary candidate to replace Ole Gunnar Solsjaker and that. Massimiliano Allegri, obviously, he's managerless at the moment. He stepped down as Juventus manager at the end of last season. Don't forget, did Massimiliano Allegri. Obviously, he endured a 5-year tenure with Juventus. Obviously, won the vast majority of his silverware with Juventus. Obviously progressed them to 2 Champions League finals. But obviously, it said he was actually learning English in preparation for his potential move. But actually, Max Allegri over the years has emulated himself up because obviously he started managing small, various Italian clubs. Then obviously, like I said, emulated himself up. But actually, so far, he spent the entirety of his managerial career in Italy. He also spent the entirety of his playing career in the Serie A. But it would be interesting to see, how he would cooperate if he did come to the Premier League. It did say this was before the Liverpool game. That Massimiliano Allegri, was in negotiations with the club, regarding what salary and that, when he would earn if he was to be recommended in. He also did he assured that he wanted to do a few things as well. He did say he wanted to recommend Patrice Evering as one of his coaching staff, and he also said he wanted to bring the likes of Mario Mandzukic and Emre, chant with him. But now reportedly, Arsenal are in for Massimiliano Allegri. But yeah, so I want Pochettino, to be our next manager basically. And obviously, if Mauricio Pochettino does come in and we do decide to sack Solskjaer, Obviously, he will be our fifth permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era and that. But I think we'll try to stick with Solskjaer as long as possible, because like I said, we're not really known for the sacking football club. We haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers, despite the fact we have sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously, we sacked David Moyes after 10 months. He had a really short tenure with the football club, and that's the mistake Alex Ferguson did make, and the only mistake he made was obviously recommending David Moyes in. Then obviously after David Moyes, we obviously got Louis van Gaal. He lasted over the year. He lasted longer than Moyes. He did win the FA Cup with us. But obviously, his philosophy wasn't right for the club, so we got rid of him. And then we recommended Jose Mourinho in. And Jose Mourinho, did endure 2.5 years at Man United. He's obviously had the longest tenure with the football club since the Alex Ferguson era. But I give the variety of reasons why it didn't work out under Mourinho. Because obviously, Mourinho had bad disputes with the board. He had bad disputes with some of the all the top players, especially Paul Pogba. The board weren't backing the signings that he wanted to recommend in to the football club last summer. But these are the reasons it didn't work out under him. Obviously, Mourinho won the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season there with the football club, and also spent a substantial amount at the football club. He spent, what was it, 400 million or just under 400 million pounds on 11 players. But, Mourinho is regarded as still as one of the best managers in the world, reflecting on the success and that he's had. He's got a fantastic pedigree. He has won 25 major honours so far during his managerial career as Jose Mourinho. And I think, to be honest with you, he's going to succeed at Tottenham. I really, really do. Obviously, Tottenham appointed him in last week. Obviously, he's had his first game in charge. Tottenham did beat West Ham by 3 goals to 2. So he's enjoyed a good start with Tottenham as Jose Mourinho. You can say he's inheriting a lot of young players. He's inheriting some average players is Mourinho, but none that Tottenham squad, of course, is Eads. So I think, he'll look to rebuild that Tottenham team more in the January transfer window and, of course, next year. He's on a substantial amount a year at Tottenham, Mourinho. Now he's on around 15 million a year. That's almost double than what Mauricio Pochettino was on, and he's obviously signed a contract with them until the end of the 2022-2023 season. But I do think he will elevate Tottenham forward, definitely. Yeah, and like I said, Solskjaer has only been at Manchester United around 11 months. So he's only been at the football club just under a year. But we know now, obviously now in this generation, managers, don't get the time, that they would like and that. But he has been here just under a year. He has been permanent manager for around 8 months. Obviously, for the vast majority of that 8 months, it has all gone wrong. Obviously, in comparison to the time when he was the interim manager, because he did really, really well in that 3-month period, did Solskjaer when he was the interim manager. And obviously, in that 3-month period, my perceptions were different regarding Solskjaer. But obviously, they've changed over the course of this 8-month period. But he has now nearly been at the football club, a year as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But like I did say to some aspects of me credit him. I've obviously got some element of concerns about him and that. But you're still getting some people saying maybe we should still give him at least a couple more windows to see who else of course he can recommend in to the football club. But I think one of the mistakes we did make was obviously now giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job. We should have never given him the job. We should have at least waited until the end of last season, or we should have waited at some point until this season to decide or not, whether he would be the right candidate for Man United. But I think we've made several mistakes anyway in the last 6 or 7 years. It's not the main factor reason why we've been toxic for a number of years. It's probably just one of the reasons, and all that. But for me, he's not the right manager, you know, to elevate Manchester United forward, definitely. You know, he is obviously, you know, not the right man. He is not the right manager for Man United. I think, you know, we also, you know, should have recommended a director of footballing. That's what we know we should have done. Because I did initially say that's one of the structural changes, you know, that we do need to see at the football club. He's getting a director of footballing and that, and you know we didn't do that unfortunately. Obviously there was quite a few former Man United players linked with that director's role during the course of the summer, but obviously no, unfortunately we didn't get one in that. But yeah, you know it was a shame. But yeah, you know, so really, you know, we should have got a director of footballing. But I did say it would be beneficial if we were to get one in to recommend someone who knows the traditions of the club, someone, of course, who knows the club inside out, like I've just said, and someone who would be reliable, you know, to obviously our transfer business and that. So we still need to see a lot of changes at this football club, definitely. Obviously, you know, we have still got quite a lot of injuries. Obviously, you know, affecting on the injuries we've had this season many where Ole Gunnar Solsjaker has had to make alterations in the squad. Obviously, you know, players have obviously, you know, come back from injury. You know, obviously there has been players back in training and that. Obviously, Solskjaer did confirm prior to the Sheffield United game that obviously, you know, Matic had returned to training, Luke Shaw had returned to training, Tuanzebe had returned to training. Matic has obviously, you know, been out with a minor problem. Luke Shaw has been out with a hamstring injury. Tuanzebe, of course, has been out with a hip injury and that. But yeah, you know, they should be back, you know, for the game against Villa, maybe even the game against FC Mestania and that. Obviously, as well, Eric Bay, Fosu Mensah, and Diego Dalot, they also recently, you know, returned to training, but they trained away from the rest of the, you know, squad. Obviously, Bay has been out with a knee injury. Fosu Mensah's been out with a knee injury. Diego Dalot's been out with some kind of leg injury. You know, he's actually, you know, sustained quite a few injuries, you know, this season. But yeah, they did initially say they've all returned to training and that. Obviously, you know the news. Obviously, you know regarding Scott McTominay, Paul Pogba. Obviously, you know McTominay is out there with a knee injury. No, sorry, ankle injury. Sorry, should I say? Don't forget during the international break, McTominay, you know, had to withdraw from the Scotland squad, you know, because of his ankle injury. Initially, you know, McTominay, you know, had initial scans on his ankle to find out the extent of the injury in that. And he's actually now quite severe in that. McTominay is set to miss the games against City and Tottenham next month, you know, which is a shame in that. But McTominay, you know, you've got to say this season has made a difference in that midfield, and you've got to say, you know, he has been revelation as McTominay. You know, he has really has, and you know, in regards to him being long-term solution for Man United, I have got obviously no element of concerns about that, but he's deserved to keep his place in the team this season, reflecting on his good performances. So I do credit him for that, McTominay. But yeah, he's out with an ankle injury. He initially actually sustained the injury in the 3-0 win against Partizan Belgrade, but the injury occurred in the game against Brighton just before the international break. Paul Pogba, he's out with an ankle injury. You know, he's actually missed the vast majority of our games this season due to his ankle injury. The last league game he did play was the 1-1 draw with Arsenal earlier on this season. Like I updated you not too well, it was the other week that I said that Paul Pogba had his ankle cast removed. He had his ankle cast removed. He travelled to Amsterdam for this. So this obviously indicated out that he was closer to recovering from injury. Was Paul Pogba. he was closer to recovering from injury with Paul Pogba. But now it recently confirmed before the Sheffield United game he's not expected to return for another 3 weeks in that. But you can say that Paul Pogba has been a big miss in that midfield. Obviously now Paul Pogba is into his 4th season as a Manchester United player since he rejoined from Juventus back in 2016 and that. And analysing the vast majority of his tenure with Man United since he rejoined, he's been mainly very inconsistent. For the majority of his tenure anyway, he's been mainly inconsistent in comparison to his time, with Juventus and that. Because he did enjoy 4 successful years with Juventus, did Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba still desperately wants to quit the football club. So he has got the same perception now as what he had for the entirety of the summer. Because obviously for the entirety of the summer he wanted to leave Man United, and he revealed this at the beginning of the summer that he wanted to leave because obviously he was seeking for a new challenge, and he publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club for the very, very first time. According to recent reports, Paul Pogba's preference now is a return to Juventus, so his perceptions changed regarding that, because during the summer his preference was to make a move to Real Madrid, and all that. Paul Pogba's still got 2 years left on his current contract at Man United, with an option to extend it by a further year. And he's on a substantial amount at the club. Pogba is on around 290 grand a week. So in that aspect, he's one of the highest paid players at the football club. But to be fair, I think, with his absentee in that, I think Fred has, fulfilled his position well. And Solskjaer did confirm anywhere that Fred's going to take Paul Pogba's position for a while. Can we rely on Fred as a long-term solution? I'm sceptical about that, but I think recently, Fred has rejuvenated himself, to be fair in that. He's only been here since the summer of 2018, so I think Man United, should, give Fred more time at the football club, definitely. I will agree on the aspects that we did overpay for him, because we paid £50 million for him last summer from Shakhtar Donetsk. And he was an exceptional player at Shakhtar Donetsk, and I am aware that he hasn't mainly replicated this though at Manchester United and that. But yeah, the good news is now players are returning from injury now, which I'm very, very delighted about and that. I'm very, very delighted about. But like I mentioned earlier on in the video, there is still more players that need to leave the football club. Like I mentioned, I think, definitely Ashley Young is one of the problematic players. I think Rojo needs to be moved on. I think Jones needs to be moved on next year. Matic definitely needs to be moved on. Some people say we also need to get rid of Jesse Lingard. So definitely, there's still more problematic players at the football club that I do need to be moved on and that. Like I said, we haven't only invested a lot of money into the team. We've also now got players on big contracts at the football club. We've obviously got Rashford on around 300 grand a week. We've got Martial on around 200 grand a week, something like that. Anywhere we've got Harry Maguire on around 200 grand a week. We've got David De Gea on 375 grand a week. He's obviously now the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, and obviously the highest paid at the club. We've got, like I said, Pogba on 290 grand a week. Lingard on just over 100 grand a week and that. So we have got players on substantial wages at the football club. But don't get me wrong, there's still certain players that do need to step up to the plate. One thing I do credit Solskjaer for, he did recommend 3 good players to the squad during the summer. We spent a substantial amount during the summer. We spent nearly £150 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and on Harry Maguire. And they've all enjoyed good starts to the Man United careers, and it was good during the summer, that we did address some of the problematic Marys. So you can also say that's positive in that. I've obviously got a lot of young players in the squad as well. A variety. There's a variety of young players in the squad and that, and Solskjaer's still keen on continuing, recruiting young players and that. I think in that aspect he actually does replicate Alex Ferguson, because obviously like I said, Ferguson developed a lot of young players. But yeah, I think, some of the young upcoming players are definitely going to become a success at the club. I've obviously, got some element of concerns about some of the young players, and this is why I did say next year it would be beneficial to get rid of some. But I can assure that the likes of Mason Greenwood, Tuan Zebe and Brandon Williams, perhaps we'll put James Garner in the equation as well. They'll all do well at Man United, definitely. Brandon Williams, very, very good player. You can say now that left back has been confirmed, because I think Brandon Williams is a much better solution than Ashley Young. He's a better solution than Luke Shaw, and he's only at the age of 19, and that he scored his first goal for the club, in the first senior goal for the club against Sheffield United yesterday. He actually scored my first goal, did Brandon Williams, but he's been absolutely fantastic. James Garner in the games he's played, he's also been revelation. So I have been impressed there with him. Like I said with Greenwood, he's still developing. He's still only very, very young. But I think by the time he's 23, 24, he will be a world-class, striker for Man United. Will Mason Greenwood, fair play to him. Obviously, there's other youngsters in the squad as well. You've got Pereira. Some people believe that Andres Pereira isn't good enough. He was obviously playing in centre midfield yesterday, surprisingly. He's had a good couple of games this season. Obviously, he's had some bad games. But I would still give him more time from my overarching view on it. Daniel James is also still very, very young. Daniel James has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. And he's been a revelation so far. I'm actually surprised, the amount of games he's played. I didn't expect him to play as many games to the extent as he has done. But if he keeps his these good performances up, definitely Daniel James' valuation will persistently grow. So a fair play to him. But I've obviously, got element of concerns, about, Chon and obviously, Angel Gomez. There are definitely, my element of concern. Rojo's injured as well. I forgot to mention that recently. I know he's injured though. He must have, I think he sustained, was it an injury, during the international break? But yeah, he's out with injury, as Marcus Rojo. So we've had hell of a lot of injuries, this season and that. Solskjaer's obviously tried a few different elements to turn around his managerial tenure at the football club. He's tried a few different formations on a regular basis this season. Though he has been mainly going with that 4-2-3-1 formation, but on a couple of occasions he's gone with a 4-3-3. Quite a few times he's gone with like the 3-5-2, the 3-4. 1-2 or the 3-4-3. He went, like I said, he went with the 3-4-3 yesterday in that. But for me, he just isn't the right man to elevate Manchester United forward. But we have got a lot of players in our agenda, who we could go in for next year, definitely. We've got a lot of players on our agenda. Ed Woodward's actually, promised Galactico signings at the football club. Whether this materialises or not, I do not know. And Solskjaer has drawn an 8-man transfer list of long-term targets. But recently Solskjaer said that he's got reservations regarding his long-term targets, so he may consider recommending some, loans in January and that. And I've already given you the update, haven't I, regarding the transfer news, all the players, of course, that are linked with Man United. Yeah, so that's mainly everything to update you with in that, guys, today. Just wanted to say that, a lot of United fans now are demanding Solskjaer out. A lot of them want to get Pochettino in and that. But this, according to the Daily Express, they've said that, we could, we may sack Solskjaer and appoint Pochettino in after the 7th of December. So the next couple of games, we're gonna see what happens. But next 3 league games, I think, are Villa, Tottenham, Man City. And 2 of them games, of course, are going to be very, very difficult and that. So, obviously, next game is FC Istana on Thursday in the Europa League. Doesn't really matter what happens in that. We're already into the knockout stages anywhere. Solskjaer sees like the Europa League and the Carabao Cup as more opportunities, to give the youngsters, more experience. So he will make a lot of alterations in the squad this Thursday against FC Astana. It's away, so we are travelling to Kazakhstan. But we're capable of winning the Europa League because we won it back in 2017 under the Jose Mourinho era. Don't forget. But anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.